I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, and welcome to our podcast, For the Health of It, episode 65. Remember to subscribe to our podcasts, and I'll help you naturally get well and stay well.
The information presented on this program is not intended to take the place of your personal physician's advice, and it is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Discuss this information with your own physician or healthcare provider to determine what is right for you.
Are you suffering needlessly? Dr. Joe can give you advice on how to naturally get well and stay well. Dr. Joe Esposito.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad we're together again. As always, I always enjoy this time together. And we're going to talk today about cold and flu, because this is something everyone talks to me about and says, well, Dr. Joe, you're pretty much doomed, right? You're going to get it or you're not. And that's not true. There's a lot of proactive things that you can do to keep your body from getting sick. Now, we're all exposed to cold and flu viruses. I have it in my throat. You have it in your throat. And so why is it that everybody is sick? Why is it that some people can do better than others? Now, genetics plays a role. Of course, genetics plays a role in everything. But I want to teach you things that you can do step by step to make sure that you're keeping yourself as healthy as possible. And not just you, your friends, your family, and your children. I was just a guest on a show, and they were talking about this weird flaccid myelitis that's going around for children. And it kind of looks like polio, but it's not polio. And what do you do? Because we're really not sure what to do about it, because we're not sure what's causing it. And so my point was, keep the immune system strong. And children below the age of 6, we're going to cover this a little bit, don't necessarily have a strong immune system, because your immune system has to be taught how to fight off viruses, germs, and bacteria. That's the concept behind immunizations. We inject you with something, a weakened version of it, and then your body says, oh, okay, I know that, and I know how to build up immunity to that, or, put out some white blood cells. Natural killer cells is one of them. And then if you are exposed to the real thing, in theory, your body knows how to deal with it. It's kind of, it knows the enemy. So what we have to do with kids is under the age of 6, they haven't been exposed to a lot. That's why they're sick all the time. They haven't built up that natural immunity. And so we got to talk about the immune system. We got to talk about the immune glands. There's a gland called your thymus gland. You probably don't even know where that is. It's right below your sternum. And it teaches your cells how to do their job. I know that sounds strange, but that's what the thymus does. And as you get older, when I went to school 100 years ago, we were taught that the thymus gland, as you get older, kind of shrivels up and it becomes useless. Well, guess what? That study was wrong. That research was wrong. It turns out that your thymus still works, even as you're getting older. So the thymus gland right below your sternum is a very important area. Now, as a chiropractor, I always look at how structure affects function. So what does that mean? If something's out of alignment, it's not going to work properly. So I've had people already where the ribs were out of alignment, and the ribs where the sternum come together can twist out of place. And we find that when we put everything back in place, their immune system seems to get stronger. Now, I have no studies to prove this next statement, but I believe that when we take the stress off that area and allow the thymus gland to start working again, things start to work. Just makes sense. I was just talking to one of my colleagues right before I came on the air, and she was talking to me. She said, I really got to find a chiropractor. I said, come see us. And I looked at her, and her left shoulder was so much higher than the right. And I said, next time you're in a mirror, look at your left shoulder. Look at how crooked you are. She goes, that's exactly what my pain is. Looked in the mirror, sure enough, one side was higher than the other. So structure affects function. Nervous system controls everything. Nervous system controls your immune system. So why is it that we get colds in the winter? Well, there's some structural issues, but there's also some environmental issues that we need to talk about. Cold drives people indoors where they're going to be around other people. So, of course, that's an issue because cold temperatures also weaken the first line of immune defense in your nose. So your sinuses, where you can inhale viruses, germs, bacteria, fungus. You have hair in your nose, you have mucus in your nose. But in cold weather, your immune system gets a little weaker. But also viruses tend to grow better. So we got a double whammy going on there. Research reveals the immune system responds slower at colder temperatures than at body temperature. So again, it's colder out. And the rhinovirus can replicate faster at lower temperatures. The rhinovirus is the virus that causes the common cold. So we got several things affecting us here. Age can be an issue. Dry air. In the winter, of course, it's drier. And so we don't have the moisture to protect our mucous membranes. And so the mucous membranes are more susceptible to viruses, germs, and bacteria getting in. As you get older, well, your immune system is not as strong when you're young. then it's okay in the middle, and then, of course, it's weaker as we get older. Now, that doesn't have to be, and that's why you got to keep listening, because we're going to cover a lot of things that you can do at any age to make sure your body is healthy. If you have a poor diet, lack of sleep, stress, food allergies, if you work out too hard, several other illnesses going along with the cold and flu can cause problems. We call it concurrent illnesses. So this is a big issue because some people say, I work out, and it's going to keep me strong. Well, if you work out too much, it can actually make you weaker. I knew a gal, and she's a very pretty girl, and she used to work out like insane amounts. Like she'd run 20 miles on a Tuesday just for fun. And I noticed as time went on, she started to look a little older. She was aging faster than she should have. And then I didn't see her for a couple of years. I ran into her again. Boy, she really looked a lot older. And I thought to myself, she's overtraining. So when you work out too much, your body produces something called free radicals. We're going to talk about that with vitamin C in just a second. Free radicals are like Pac-Man. They eat through things. So if you're getting free radicals either chemically, are you exposing it to environmental issues, you have a bad diet, you're overtraining, these free radicals can actually eat through your connective tissue. And the connective tissue becomes weak and you get wrinkles. So one of the ways we stay young is to make sure we have a lot of antioxidants, which we're going to talk about in a second. So antioxidants fight free radicals. And when it comes to colds and flu, this becomes a very important issue. If you smoke, folks, if you smoke, I know it's hard to quit. I work with several people here at the studio, and they every time there's a break, they're outside smoking. And it hurts me to see my friends doing this to themselves. Years ago, when I would lecture, I would say that you get 100 billion free radicals. Remember free radicals? Pac-Man-like little things? Per puff of cigarettes. 100 billion. I was wrong. It's 100 trillion free radicals per puff of cigarette. And then, of course, if you're in a smoky area, there's secondary smoke. So the problem is that it's so hard to quit because it's so addictive. So the way we deal with addiction, that's going to have to be a whole nother show in the future, is make sure your body has the proper nutrients in it so that the brain can produce its own normal chemicals called neurotransmitters so that you don't need an outside stimulus. And that's all addiction. Not today's show. Another show. Cold passes physically from one to another. It can pass to you by touching, sneezing, touching your face, contact with your body, if somebody sneezes on you. So if you're in close proximity and contact with others, such as school, daycare, airplanes, how many people say that? Every time I fly, I get sick. Same thing, dry air weakens the mucous membranes. You're breathing in close contact with other people. You may be touching things that have never been wiped down. I mean, how when they turn a plane around, they don't wipe down and sanitize everything. And then the stress of just flying. That's a problem in itself. Some people get really stressed out to fly, and it used to be you go to the airport, run up to the gate and get in. Now, what is it, 2 hours, 3 hours ahead of time? And then the flight might be delayed, or then you're worried if you're going to park, you're going to make it. A lot of issues involved. That's why I don't like flying a lot in the winter, because most people get sick. So once a virus is inside your body, it attaches to the lining of your nose, your throat, whatever it is, and it triggers the immune system to send out something called white blood cells. Now, we build up antibodies against so if we're to certain viruses. So if we've been exposed to it, the body knows what to do with it. So if it's a common one that you've been exposed to before, chances are your immune system's going to go, oh, we know how to fight that enemy, and you're going to be fine. When it's a new one, that's where we have a problem. And that's why when they make vaccines, they guess. They say, okay, what's happening? Usually look at Asia and say, okay, what strains of the flu, let's say, are coming out? We're going to assume that based on studies we've done in the past, these strains are going to make it to, let's say, the United States. And so we're going to make a vaccine to deal with these 3 or 4 different strains. Not always successful. In fact, sometimes a flu vaccine is purported to be 30% successful, 40% successful. I'm going to give you some tips that give you just about the same odds. So if you do everything, hopefully you're going to be able to deal with it. So new virus comes in your body sends out reinforcements, inflammation, nose and throat. Much of the body's resources are aimed at fighting the cold, and so you're left tired. You only have so much energy in your body, so much fuel. And so if you're sending out a lot of warriors, white blood cells, to fight off the viruses, you don't have a lot of energy for other things. That's why one of the things that happens is you lose your appetite. Number 1 consumer of energy we have as humans is romance. Family show, we keep it clean. Number 2 consumer of energy is digestion. Now, most of us don't have romance all day, every day, but you're digesting all day, every day. So one of the things you can do if you are getting sick or you feel like you might be coming down with something, or just to keep your body healthy, is not eat a lot of hard-to-digest foods. Now, what's a hard-to-digest food? Animal protein is the hardest thing to digest. So if you're eating meats, dairies, cheese, butter, eggs, yogurt, this is very, very hard to digest. And so what happens is if you're putting this in your system, the body has to use the energy to go elsewhere. So when you're sick, very light foods are the way to go. Fruits and vegetables, of course, is going to be the best. Soups are very good. Vegetable soups. Try to stay away from heavy bean soups or split pea soups. Again, harder to digest. The lighter the food, less energy for digestion, easier it is to take. I have 2 supplements that I created years ago called Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. And the reason I created them is because it's easy to digest, easy to absorb, super high concentration of nutrients. They're 2 powders. I take a scoop of each, mix them together, shake it up. I use ice cold water or coconut milk, ramen milk, and drink it. And it tastes great. You can make a smoothie with it, maybe throw some frozen fruit in there if you want to. But I take that every single day. And I'm going to tell you what I do and why I haven't had a cold or flu in years. So I'll tell you my secrets. Hopefully it'll work for you too. But minimum amount of nutrients every single day is Super Greens and Essential Source, not just for cold and flu, but every day. And those are on my website, drjoe.com. We're going to talk about some other supplements as well. 4 nutrients I want you to consider during cold and flu season. Vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, and beta-glucans. Probably never even heard of a beta-glucan. I'm going to teach you about beta-glucans and the research that I just found out about this year. But I've been doing it all along, and it turns out I was accidentally right. See, I don't eat animal products. I'm a vegan. I don't eat any animal products. And there's certain foods called accidentally vegan. What that means is it's vegan. It wasn't meant to be vegan. It just doesn't have any animal products in it. So I was accidentally building my immune system. Didn't realize I was doing it, but now I'm going to teach you some of the tricks. You want to get something called prebiotics in your body, along with probiotics. Probiotics are good bacteria. 70 to 80%, depending on the study you read, of your immune system is in your digestive system. So if you have a healthy digestive system, when viruses, germs, and bacteria get into the body, the immune system is able to deal with it because of the good bacteria fighting off the bad guys. If you have bad digestion, acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, these are all signs you're not digesting your food properly. So that's important to fix that. Now, physically, we may have to address your digestive system. You have a sheet of muscle called your diaphragm, and the stomach can push up into the diaphragm and spasm. And when that happens, you might see symptoms like acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, chronic cough, sinus problems. The acid is actually coming up into your throat and into your sinuses. So in our offices, we actually adjust the stomach. We take the stomach and pull it down away from the diaphragm, manually manipulating the stomach to go to its normal position. Then the stomach is able to relax and digest your food more efficiently. If you're not digesting your food properly, it passes partially digested from your stomach into your small intestine, where it rots. And when it rots, it can start killing off the good bacteria. Follow all that? So physically, as we talked about earlier, structure affects function. If a bone is out of place pinching a nerve, it can hurt. Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, I'm sure a lot of you have that. So chiropractically, we put the bones back in place. It's pretty simple stuff. We can also adjust the organs. So structurally, we want to make sure everything's lined up, and then you have to take care of the chemical. And if we get the normally functioning nervous system, normally functioning digestive system, and good nutrition, all part of your healthcare plan, chances are you're going to have a much better shot at staying healthy and living longer. And it's cheaper. There's no downside. Wait a minute. You live longer, you feel better, it's cheaper. Why wouldn't I do this? I don't know that answer. I do, and it works. I see my patients doing it. They do it. All my doctors, my staff, my family, they do it. There's no reason why you shouldn't be doing it either. Normally functioning nervous system, digestive system, and nutrition. So probiotics are the good bacteria. I digress. I do that a lot, don't I? Probiotics are the good bacteria. So we have a product on my website, Dr. Joe's Probiotics, and I take it every day, especially in the winter months, to make sure I have the good bacteria. There's also something called prebiotics. Prebiotics feed the probiotics. It's food for the probiotics. Where do you get that from? Fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds. Goes back to everything I've been telling you. Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source, great sources of prebiotics and probiotics. So that's another reason why those are part of my supplement protocol every day, especially in the winter. Well, Super Greens Essential Source every day, year-round. Probiotics especially in the winter, because it helps the immune system. Now, vitamin C. You've heard that vitamin C can help fight cold and flu, right? It's true. However, I've read some studies that say, well, it's not true. Vitamin C didn't work. We did a study. We couldn't replicate the other study. And it didn't work. Here's what I find when I read studies when it comes to supplements that are contradictory to everything else. What happens is you're using synthetic supplements. Synthetic supplements are not the same as non-synthetic supplements. And so if you're using something called ascorbic acid is only 1/8 of the vitamin C molecule. So it's not the same thing. And that's where we start to have a problem. So if you see studies using ascorbic acid, it's not the same. So that's when I start to see problems with some of the studies. So if you're going to do vitamin C, make sure it's pure vitamin C and not ascorbic acid. And so many times you see supplements. Oh my gosh, it's good for your immune system. This is going to help you, keep you strong, and you fly with it, and it's great. And then I see ascorbic acid. And whenever I see a supplement, if I see ascorbic acid, I know right away the supplement might be questioned. I should question that supplement, because if they're using one cheap supplement, maybe they're using other cheap supplements. So vitamin C, great for cold and flu. Higher doses you take, the better the results during cold and flu seasons, but there's limitations. What happens is if you take too much vitamin C, you might get loose stools. We call it your bowel tolerance. You can only absorb so much of a supplement, let's say vitamin C. If you start taking more than your body can absorb, it causes loose stools. So then what you need to do is cut back on what you're taking. It's pretty interesting. So that's how you know you've taken too much. And I'm going to talk in a second about taking too much of it long term and how that can actually weaken your immune system. So when it comes to supplements, when it comes to anything, most things are in the Goldilocks zone. I call it the Goldilocks zone. Not too much, not too little, just right. That's why Super Green's an essential source at least once a day. I can take it twice a day if I have a busy day. You're going to have to take a lot of it to have a reaction to it. But you got to get the nervous system working, because the nervous system controls absorption, it controls the immune system. And so as a chiropractor, my team of doctors, we look at the nervous system, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling. If you've ever been in a car accident, ever, if the car was damaged, you were damaged 100% of the time. That's why it's so important that as soon as you get in a car accident, you come see us or somebody who's qualified to treat you right away. Now, there's a lot of scam clinics out there. They don't really give you the treatment that you need. They're trying to run up the bills. Be careful with that. I just want to give you a public service warning, because almost, 4 or 5 times a week, I can't say every day, patients come in and say, well, I got in a car accident. My attorney said I had to go to this clinic, and they didn't get treatment. And now I'm still in pain. I don't know what to do. So make sure you get a reputable doctor when you get treated. So from a chiropractic standpoint, stop suffering. The pain is just telling you something's wrong. You could be pinching nerves affecting the immune system. If you want to make an appointment to come see us in the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We would love to be your doctors. Go to my website, drjoe.com. You can make an appointment right online, or call us if you have any questions about insurance or coverage. We're more than happy to give you all the information you need. But stop suffering and make the investment in your health, because a major majority of the patients, I can't give you an exact number, always say, why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I suffer so long? So it's not just the pain I'm worried about, it's the pinched nerves affecting the immune system. So again, the website, drjoe.com. By the way, all my supplements we're going to talk about are on the website as well, drjoe.com. You can order them right there. If you come by the offices, pick them up, save shipping. Too much vitamin C, long-term, can be dangerous. If you take large doses of vitamin C on a regular basis, it lowers your body's ability to absorb copper. And if you're already low in copper, you need a little bit of copper in your diet, not too much. It can weaken the immune system. So don't think I'm going to take long-term vitamin C every day and it's going to be great for me. Not true. Things like Super Greens, Essential Source, a good diet, that's going to give you enough vitamin C in most cases. If you are starting to feel sick, then you can start taking the bigger doses. Now, mega doses of vitamin C combat cold and flu. So if you have to take it short term, but that's why I want you to get it from your food and your supplements instead, not taking an actual vitamin C supplement. Got to be careful with that. Foods high in vitamin C are what? Citrus fruits, red bell peppers. Bell peppers, side note. Green peppers, green bell peppers, red bell peppers, yellow bell peppers, orange bell peppers. All of them start out green. The green ones just aren't ripe yet. So that's why if you're going to do peppers, I'd rather see you eat a colored one, because it's already ripened more. It has more nutrients in it. Brussels sprouts, broccoli, butternut squash, papaya, sweet potatoes, again, Super Greens, Essential Source, great sources of natural vitamin C. According to this, Dr. Albert Szent-Györgyi, I think I'm saying it right, biochemist who first isolated vitamin C, he received a Nobel Prize. Health occurs when you have ample flow and interchange of something called electrons in your cells. It's going to take you back to high school chemistry, electrons, protons, neutrons. If you have a good exchange of electrons, your body is going to be healthy. If you don't, the cells are not going to work properly. Oxidation can be caused by free radicals, means you lose your electrons. So oxidation, remember free radicals? They'll steal electrons. The electrons keep the cells healthy. A lot of free radicals stealing the electrons the cells can't work. So antioxidants counter disease that are caused by oxidation, which is really a better word for that. A different word is loss of electrons. And it can cause other issues. So if you get taking something like vitamin C, it's a very strong antioxidant. It has lots of electrons to give away so the body can stay healthy. So that's kind of how the cells work on a more chemical, cellular level. You just have to know you got to take it. If you start getting loose stools again, you're taking too much. High dose of vitamin C, this is the quote from the doctor, is a remarkably safe and effective treatment for viral infections. In high doses, vitamin C neutralizes free radicals, kills viruses, strengthens the immune system. Take it to help prevent issues. But again, try to get it from your food, not from supplements. Several types of influenza, swine flu, very high doses. You may even need something called intravenous vitamin C. We can actually put it in your body. For that, you need to see your medical doctor. You need to see your physician to get that. That's not something you can do at home. There's another product I created years ago to keep my immune system strong. We call it Dr. Joe's Wellness Booster. And what it is, it's a group of herbs that help the immune system. Echinacea, pau d'arco, olive leaf extract, suma root. And I put it in a liquid, in a tincture. It does have a little bit of alcohol in it. So if you're an alcoholic, this may be something you don't want to take. But I take a dropper full of that every day in the winter as well to make sure my immune system is working. Because you've heard about herbs and how they work. We extract out the really good stuff from the herbs and put it in a tincture. If I do feel something coming on, again, that's maintenance, we have something called seasonal tonic. Once again, herbs that have been shown to help fight viruses. And that's garlic, ginger, horseradish, cayenne pepper, and onion pureed in an apple cider vinegar. And it's a little dropper bottle as well. I'm going to be honest with you. This stuff tastes the way it sounds. Ginger, horseradish, cayenne pepper, onion, and garlic. It's pretty strong. It tastes like a real strong salad dressing. Some people love it. They just think it's the greatest thing in the world. But a lot of pilots, flight attendants, when they travel, take these two liquids with them. They're in small bottles, and then the super greens and the essential source to make sure their immune system is strong, because flying, for some reason, they get sick all the time. Gee, what a concept. And when they take these things, a lot of people report that they do much better. Got to cover vitamin D. I'm going to probably start here. I got to go to a break. I'll probably pick it up later because I don't know if I could talk enough about vitamin D. Low vitamin D increases your risk of cold and flu. Now, what happens is when you're out in the sunlight, in the summer months, UVB rays from the sun interact with cholesterol in your skin and create something called vitamin D. Now, vitamin D is really a hormone. It's not a vitamin, but that's semantics. Now, the vitamin D is so important because as we go into colder weather, the sunlight is hitting the earth on an angle and you're not getting the UVB rays that you need to keep the immune system strong. And so most of us are deficient in vitamin D, especially in the winter months. So I strongly advise you get your vitamin D tested when you get your blood work done. That being said, if you're not getting enough sunlight, chances are you're going to have to increase your vitamin D intake. So I just say as a general rule, you want to take about 5,000 international units of vitamin D every single day. I have a supplement called Dr. Joe's Vitamin D. We also add vitamin K2 to it as well because vitamin K2 helps build the bone mass. Most people don't get enough vitamin K2, so I threw it in there. So vitamin D, 5 drops is 5,000 international units. For children, figure out, I weigh about 180 pounds, figure out their weight. For an adult, about 5 drops, maybe 2 drops, maybe 1,000, 2,000 international units. But it's really important you give it to the kids to keep their immune system strong. Again, under the age of 6, the immune system is really weak, and they're not getting out in the sun anyway. So make sure you're getting vitamin D. Make sure it's vitamin D3, not vitamin D2. Vitamin D2 is synthetic, not nearly as effective as vitamin D3. So I'm going to have to go to break. When I come back, I'm going to talk a little bit more about vitamin D, some other supplements like zinc you might want to consider, and some other things you can do. Now, if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, muscle weakness, car accidents, folks, most cases like that respond extremely well to chiropractic. Now, if it's not a chiropractic case, my doctors will say, you know what, I think we need to refer you to this doctor. And then we co-manage the case. We get referrals all the time from hospitals, medical doctors, nurses, neurologists, neurosurgeons, psychiatrists, because we want to help get the body healthy and then co-manage it with your other doctors to give you the best treatment that we feel you can get. So if you want to make an appointment to come see us, and I think you should, stop suffering. So many people come to us and say, Dr. Joe, I've been meaning to come see you for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Stop it. Just get off the couch, go to my website, drjoe.com. You can make an appointment right online. If you have questions, call us. We want to get you well and keep you well. All the supplements we're talking about today are on the website as well, drjoe.com. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to For the Health of It. Remember to subscribe to this podcast, and I'll help you naturally get well and stay well. You can also listen to and call into my radio show live Sunday evenings from 7 to 9 Eastern Time on WSBRadio.com and on a WSB Radio app.